In this video, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks to make your Canon camera a webcam. This is an updated tutorial, basically tips and tricks. I'm going to let you know the problems people are facing, and the best news is even with the new updated EOS webcam utility tool, the version 1 they've sent out, a lot of people were asking, does it work still with old cameras? And I've tested it and it does, because this Canon camera T2i 550D in the UK is an old camera which is not listed on their website as working, but lo and behold it works, and it's not excellent. I'm recording this at 1080p. That feed is a 720p, and in OBS, which is Open Broadcast Studio, I record that feed of the camera and then I put in multiple scenes. So I've got another camcorder up here that you can see to give you like a double shot. So today's video, the aim is going to be, I'm going to let you know you can still use old cameras, because I've used the 5D Mark II, I've used the 550D, works perfectly fine. There's a couple of tips I want to share with you to get the best from it, because if you have an old camera like the 550D, it doesn't have autofocusing. So I'm going to probably link you to a video which was titled something like why I don't use a capture card, because I find it easier to do EOS webcam utility recording because I'm sitting down and it's kind of straightforward what I do. How to connect it will also be linked. I'll put in the description. I might get rid of all that normal stuff I put in there. I'll just put easy steps for you. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, which will actually break it down, because if you're following the channel, you'll know I've tested this quite a lot. I've done a lot of different things with it. We've had loads of questions from people, and loads of people that have said it hasn't worked and why isn't it working. So what I'll do is I'm going to take you to these questions first. So if you're having a similar thing, I want to give you like a verbal response to it. So if you're trying to use your Canon EOS camera as a webcam and you're having trouble, why would you have trouble? Well, here's a couple of things I've noticed. So here is a best cheap DSLR you can buy to use as a webcam. So I did a little video showing you can use old DSLR cameras. You need to remember, don't try and use a DSLR camera which doesn't have a video capability. What I mean by that is some people are trying to use things like the 1000D, which wasn't designed for video. It's only a photography camera. So if you don't have a video feature in the camera, then that's too old to be able to use this option. There may be alternatives, which I go to on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see those videos. And okay, so I actually have the same EOS Rebel T2i. However, the EOS Beta utility isn't picking up on the camera. So there's, why is that not giving me read more? So that's the type of comments people are leaving. So in the first 5 minutes of this video, I should help. So I've made a, yeah, so I also have the previous utility 2 installed. I'm not sure if it doesn't work in general or am I missing something. So if you've, the main thing to remember, let me bring you back to full screen. There's 2 types of tools. You get one EOS utility tool. So it's EOS utility tool that's designed to do tethered shooting. So you plug it into your computer in the same way you would do as a webcam, but it's only designed to take photos, focus the camera, and let the photo come onto your PC straight away so you can view it. That's the EOS utility tool. The EOS webcam utility tool is the new one, which is basically a driver. You install the program, and if you don't know how to use it, you won't know if it's installed or not. So how do you find out? You need something like Skype, Zoom, StreamYards, or OBS, whereby you can actually select a camera, because in there you'll see an option that says EOS webcam utility, and that's how you enable the camera to be able to record it or stream on it. So some people I know that have done it, I've said, wait a minute, I've installed it, but how do I use it? You need a program. So that's point number 1. Apart from that, there's been a few issues where people are having, let me bring you back to my other screen. Okay, so Robert mentioned he turned off Wi-Fi and it started working immediately. So if you have newer cameras that have a Wi-Fi built-in feature, make sure to check that out. I'm glad he pointed that out, because now I can share it with you. So if you're having that problem, that would help you. Yeah, another person, 11 Night, also that worked for him as well, or them. I love this and subscribe. Thank you. Great news. Happy creating. He worked on a T6, is finally working. So on the website, I noticed whichever driver I looked at and downloaded, they actually looked the same. What I mean by that is the size of it was the same and the version was the same. So I don't get why they've got different versions. So whatever camera you've got, just download the T7 version or T6 version and it works. Because I use the T7 version on my Canon 550D T2i and the same one I used on my 5D Mark II. I used it on a separate laptop. So I did like a test on this laptop here to kind of act as if I'm a new person installing it for the first time, and installed fairly straightforward. I had to reboot the computer a couple of times because it gave me an error message, but I think that's down to it being an older computer. I'm not even sure if this software was installed. I got the installer alright, but it doesn't look like it installed. I'm using a 100D Rebel one. Once installed, you need to view it in a program, which is what I mentioned earlier. I won't cover that again. Thank you for your help. When I manually closed the EOS application, my T3i was finally able to show its video feed via Zoom. Cheers. Yes. So remember, if you're using the feed somewhere in a program, you can't then use it in another program at the same time. So if you had like a Discord session open up and you were using that camera in your Discord session, and then you decided to open up Skype's going to say, I don't know, I can't do anything with this because you're already using the camera feed. So you shut down the other camera feed and then go to start in the CTR Alt Delete for Windows Task Manager and close the program. Because sometimes if it's running in the background, it's still using the feed. I find that like a main problem for many people. Discord recognizes the webcam utility is a thing, but I can't find it anywhere in the computer's devices. Any help? So I kind of link off to videos where I talked about that, but I'm hoping this video will be like a overall overarching thing to help everybody. Okay, so I closed my EOS app on my taskbar and it opened up. If yours gives the EOS message, but make sure another program or your EOS utility is not on, otherwise the camera will not turn on. Thank you, Shakim, mentioning that. Perfect. That's kind of my response to most people, so he's done that for me. Thank you. It shows it only works in the US. That's not correct. Even in the beta stage, I was able to use it in the UK. I think they said US only for some reason, I don't know why. But now they have also rolled out version 1, which works in multiple countries. So check out their website, which I'll put in the description. Thanks for the video. ATD worked. Okay, so we've got a few. Rebel worked, ATD worked, T2i works, 5D Mark II works, which are all cameras that weren't listed. So thank you, your video helped. Good. If someone somehow get this working on the earlier mirrorless series cameras like my EOS M3, that would help my case tremendously. The mirrorless, there's been a situation where people's cameras are automatically turning off when they're plugging it in, like after 10 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever it is. What I found is make sure you're powering it off a battery adapter. You call them dummy batteries. So it's actually like a normal camera battery, but it has a lead that you plug into either USB to power it continuously or plug it into a plug. Bring it back onto there so you can see what I'm questioning about. So I've tried with almost every config I could think of, and it just doesn't seem like I can push the capability far enough to the EOS M3. When I plug it in the display on the camera, it just turns off. Nothing shows up on the actual camera source in OBS or anything else that can use the utility as a source. It sucks that these older models are just left high and dry. I either have to fork over. Yeah, you're true. We want to make sure that you can use it with the cameras you've got, even if they're old cameras. So we're going to try our best to get that working. The alternative is getting a cheap capture card. I purchased a cheap one, which is a HDMI capture card. I did a separate video about that. I can't seem to get hold of download of the old utility tool. However, I feel like still wouldn't work because of the EOS M. So I'm hoping he make that work, because I followed up, but I didn't get a response. So I'm hoping that means it worked for him. Do you have any ideas on what would the closest alternative version for the EOS 100D? So I noticed any version works. Like I mentioned before, you should be fine. What will my work for my 1200 be? So a lot of people are asking what camera version will work with their version. Download any one of the tools and install it. It works. That's your answer. Because well, I downloaded T7 and I made multiple cameras work on it. Okay, thanks so much. Just cable, just plug into USB on both the camera PC. Yes, connected via USB cable. So if you're connecting the camera and you haven't got, I noticed some of the newer cameras don't come with the cable. So what you want to do is get a USB cable on one side. The other side that you plug into the camera is a mini USB. You get 3 types: USB normal, USB mini, and USB micro. You want the mini. I might put a link in the description for you, but I don't want to bombard you with loads of links in the description to confuse you, but I'll also try my best to give you what you want. I have a Canon T4i Rebel. Only the USB is able to turn into a webcam. Can I use a HDMI mini on my connector? I'm not sure that the T4i is a clean, is it? Might help you if the T4 has a clean HDMI out. That's an alternative thing. Done everything, but it keeps freezing and sometimes doesn't even recognize my camera. Any solution? Okay, they're using a 750D. So if you have a problem where your camera is not being recognized and you keep dropping out, or the camera, you can hear it like engage, like the noise, and then it comes off, the mirror lifts, there's a few things you can do. Sometimes it crashes if you're trying to go through multiple cameras. What I noticed was, for example, if I show you this, if I turned on my OBS session and I turned on I have USB devices for my cameras, so if I turn one on before the other one, the Canon tool will freeze up. So then I have to close OBS and do in a different order. So practice, and once you find your balance, you'll know what it is. So on mine, I know now I have to put my top down view, this camera up here, on first. Then I put on that camera as number 2, as in turn on the USBs. Then I turn on the EOS webcam last. When I turn that on last, it comes into my feed like this. You can see perfectly. I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I'm not listening to anything. Yeah, okay. So apart from that, I can't. Let me bring you back to the screen. This is kind of your overarching help for if it's not working. Basically, I can't get a display to come up in my application I use. I can disconnect my camera and the EOS utility shows an icon showing a camera is no longer plugged in, but when connected still only shows the EOS logo. Which programs have you tried? In some cases, what you need to go and look at is, if you tried it in one program, try another program, because I found it was giving me problems in Discord, but it worked fine in Skype, Zoom, and OBS. So you need to find out if it's some type of bug. And once you know it works on other programs, you know at least that the camera works and the leads are right. It's just down to the program settings and maybe a bug. Because the main thing you want to do is make sure it can work in any one of those programs, which is a good thing. If it doesn't work in any of them, then you know it's not a program issue. It's more maybe to do with the leads or the setting or the drivers or some install issue. Okay, online English coach. Thanks for the video. I am a T2i and I would like to know what cable you have used. So I put a link to that and she was happy with that. Mini USB to USB. Get a nice long one because you can put your camera further away and it looks nicer. It looks more like kind of this way. So you kind of get a nice blur background. And let me go back. Okay. Yeah, Mac. Okay, a few people asked about Mac versions. So my plan is, some people have Mac computers. I don't have Mac. I haven't used it, but I'm going to sideload it on my PC as a dual boot and do like a virtual desktop maybe. I'm going to test it in Mac and try and give you answers, but that's down the line because I know a lot of people are asking the questions, so I want to be able to help you. I can't get my 500D to work. What lead are you using? Yeah, so sometimes if it's not working, please do reply back and let me know if it works, because I give you a resolution. If you come back and say, oh yeah, okay, that worked, I can let the next person know who has the same camera. Okay, we know it works with that camera. We have a SX. Okay, was any other main issues I can help you? My screen shows the EOS webcam utility beta, no video. Tried my 7D and T2i. Okay. I think that's the case where he had it open in multiple programs. So maybe the old tool kicked off and it was in the tray icon. Make sure to close it by right clicking on the bottom and closing the program. Okay, that's some of the questions. I know I haven't answered all of them. There will be more questions that people will ask, and I'll try and do sessions where I can help you. If it helps and you're stuck, let me know and I might do like a live session and we can kind of answer it and do it live, and I can share my screen or something and we can get through it, because I want you to be able to use it and make content. So I'll link you to a playlist about these videos. I'm hoping this helped you. If it didn't, sorry for wasting your time, and I'll see you on the next video about using your Canon webcam as your Canon DSLR as a webcam. See you on the next video, guys.